Sony, don't do this. Don't commit to this. Backtrack. Backtrack now. It's not worth committing to this when you've got such a good thing going. Don't burn community goodwill. Just pretend like this never happened. Just say, we fucked up. We're not going to implement this, and just back away from this. For those who don't know what's going on, Helldivers 2 is requiring players to essentially make a PlayStation account to access the Steam version, the PC version of the game. They got the following notice on May 2nd, 2024. Due to technical issues at launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below in this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6th, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. But it's not just new players, existing players will be affected as well. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. Now, it's very important to point out who signed this statement. It was Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was not the developers of Helldivers 2. It was not Arrowhead Game Studios, suggesting that this was Sony's decision and not the developers Arrowhead's decision. And in fact, a community manager confirmed this. You can see right here a screenshot highlighted by the Helldivers subreddit, and this post right here reads, first of all, it's Sony's decision, not ours. Secondly, we don't have all the details about region-related issues yet. We're chasing Sony to get more information. Region-related issues referring to the fact that not all countries have access to PlayStation Network. So with this requirement, some players might straight up lose access to the game. And you can see right here what the end result of that has been. The community, the PC community and players are none too happy about this situation. We're seeing right here mass dislikes. So as of May 3rd, 2024, today, we're seeing 1,336 positive reviews versus a whopping 27,000 negative reviews. Yeah, suffice to say that the backlash is in full force. The Helldivers 2 Twitter page posted a screenshot of this statement and this announcement. You can see right here, this tweet is already being ratioed, more responses than likes, and plenty of people expressing their disdain at this decision. Here's somebody sarcastically saying, I'm sure this will be very well received by PC players and everything will be smiles and rainbows. Here's somebody else saying, this post must have been made by the communist robots. That's the only possible explanation. Pure bot propaganda. And then you've got people who are tweeting about this and sharing this and expressing their admonishment at this move. Here's Pirate Software, for example, whose tweet went viral, 3.8 million views with over 54,000 likes, stating, not happening. Removing access from Steam players unless they make a PlayStation Network account and link it months after release is absurd. Review changed to negative and I filed for a refund. And this Twitter user makes it a point to highlight that the reason this is a big deal is because not all countries feature PlayStation Network. If you do not live in one of these listed countries, you cannot make a PlayStation Network account, thereby essentially blocking you from accessing the game because of this mandate now. He further continues, choosing a country you do not live in is a violation of Sony's terms of service and could lead to account termination. So if you kind of try to circumvent this situation by using, I don't know, a VPN or by trying to make an account in the form of pretending like you're from another country, then that could get you banned if you're discovered doing that. So it is just wildly inconvenient for those who live in countries where you cannot make PlayStation Network accounts but would like to play Helldivers 2 anyway. Now, it has been highlighted that this requirement was there at first. Steam stated from the outset that this game does require a third-party account, PlayStation Network, but that mandate was dropped because, as the statement here highlights, due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allow the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. Well, they should have kept it permanent because people were enjoying this kind of accessibility for the game. And now to suddenly drop this requirement and make it a mandatory aspect when this was not something that was a requirement for the game for many months now, it is a bit of a rug pull, especially for those who live in countries where they cannot make a PlayStation Network account. As Pirate Software put it, it hasn't been enforced in any capacity until months after release, and tens of thousands of sales to Steam customers, which will now lose access to the game unless we make accounts on PlayStation Network, which some might not be able to do if they live in countries where it's just not possible to do so. And then there are those who maybe can make a PlayStation account but haven't wanted to or refused to do so because of Sony's track record with data breaches, which, that's been a thing in the past. And so, the end result is that this whole situation is being mass reported on. It is a huge PR nightmare for Helldivers 2, which enjoyed massively positive PR since launch, sans, those technical issues that plagued the game at launch has been smoothed out since. Gerardo here, for example, kind of reported on this, and they already got 2.2 million views and over 28,000 likes. Other major gaming media outlets like IGN are reporting on this, and Destin, who works at IGN, straight up just expressed how this is nonsensical. Do other PlayStation games require PlayStation Network to play on Steam? Well, the other PlayStation games have all been single player, so they've not required that. Daniel Ahmad, who is an analyst for the games industry, straight up said, I don't know how they were expecting this to go. And then on Reddit, this subreddit is on fire right now. It was enjoying such, positivity and just so much goodwill. And then all of a sudden, you can see right here, all of these posts, all of the top posts over the last 24 hours are about this situation and how people are just not about this at all. Plenty of posts highlighting that this requirement is now a thing, and this is garnering a lot of discussion, lots of likes, and people arguing and making a good point that those living in regions where PSN isn't nominally available, you can cite that as a reason for refund and it'll generally be accepted, but people don't want to lose access to this game because it's a really good freaking game made by really passionate developers who, were sidelined by corporate decisions on the part of Sony. People are celebrating how the game has recently been mass negative reviewed because this might actually kind of force Sony's hand and make them change their mind, seeing the kind of PR nightmare that they've generated for themselves. People are highlighting some of those reviews. Others are just straight up highlighting the predicament that they're in because they live in a country where PlayStation Network is not available. For example, here is a Reddit user who lives in the Philippines, and they're getting a notification here saying that the PlayStation Network is not available in the Philippines. So this player, who is a level 90 Helldiver, just, they're kind of screwed by this mandate now. Just very, undemocratic. This is not what the community wanted. And sure, maybe this is something that doesn't affect the majority of players, but a small percentage of a large player base is still a lot of players, and every player matters. Every player who bought this game and put their time, money, and support into this game, they should all be taken into consideration. And this, a lot of people are arguing, feels inconsiderate towards those who live in countries outside of the ones that PlayStation Network supports. And then there are some community managers' responses are not going down well, like this one right here that reads, "It's not like this is the first time or even the 14th mainstream game to require a third-party account that takes a couple minutes to create, but if it's a deal breaker to have to take 120 seconds out of your day to enter an email and password and then forget about it, change your Steam review and make your displeasure known on a platform where it matters." So very snarky. And it is true that this is not the first game to mandate a requirement like this, but other games had that from the outset. They didn't remove it and then add it later, months down the line in a surprise fashion. And then beyond that, there is the fact that a lot of players were able to gain access to this game because of a lack of the PlayStation Network requirement, who now may lose access to the game. That consideration should still be there, even if this is not the first case of something like this happening. It doesn't change the fact that months after launch, this now becoming a mandate does impact people. And that's exactly what, Reddit posts like these highlight, where It is stated that PlayStation Network is available in just 69 nice countries around the world. People can't create accounts in countries outside that. You can try to create an account in a supported region, but Sony has the right to ban you for false credentials. You'll need a VPN and must pay in the currency of the country you choose. So it is a big hassle to overcome this mandate if you are outside of the 69 countries that support PlayStation Network. And then here's one more post of someone who apparently read the entire end user license agreement, and it says nothing about a PlayStation Network account or requirement, so that makes the situation all the more precarious for Sony. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're at. It'll be very interesting to see whether Sony capitulates to the backlash and backpedal on this, which I think is precisely what they should do. They have too good of a thing going here. It's just, again, as I said at the beginning of the video, it's not worth committing to this. Sony, just do the right thing here. Like, is it really gonna affect and impact your bottom line tremendously if you backpedal on this front? You will enjoy longer term success with this game if you backpedal on this. Just admit that this was probably not a good idea, and just kind of maintain things how they were as far as account requirements go, which should be, there shouldn't be any account requirements if you want to make this game as accessible as possible to as many people in the world as possible. And if you don't want to screw over current players who bought into Helldivers 2 not knowing that this PlayStation Network mandate was coming, not knowing that they may lose access because of this mandate for something that is not available in their country. So that's kind of my suggestion and my take on things. But I would love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are. Is this issue overblown, or do you think people have every right to be, as fervently disapproving of this as they are currently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.